Welcome to the All Things Circular podcast, your gateway to the circular economy. Hosted by industry experts Victoria Darcy and Rich Bolger. Every episode is proof that circularity isn't just good for the planet. It's a smart business decision. Our mission is simple: to empower, to inform, and to show you how to make the circular economy work for you.
Welcome to the special edition of the All Things Circular podcast. Today we're switching it up with a new set of hosts. It's me, Damian, with
Peter Evans.
And today we got a special guest from Via Trading, Mr. Justin, who's going to be demystifying the world of liquidations and the secondary market. So welcome, Justin. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, thank you. Guys, I'm Justin. I work with Via Trading. We are a wholesale supplier of liquidations. We specialize in reverse logistics, asset recovery for major USA retailers and general merchandise consumer products. I am the manager of LiquidateNow, which is our division where we provide liquidation services to one-offs or opportunistic liquidations that is powered by the sales and marketing of our parent company, Via Trading.
Okay, first question. What is liquidations? How would you define that?
Okay, so liquidations are obsolete excess inventory that are eating up resources for sellers, any type of seller, retailers, manufacturers, and it's giving them a headache for some reason. It could be customer return product, it could be excess inventory, but some inventory that they no longer want to or can sell through their primary channels any longer.
Can I ask how you do the liquidations? I think a lot of people are familiar with marketplaces where you can go online, see the price, order it, and it comes back to you. So how does the liquidation process actually work?
Well, it's going to be similar with us, where we have developed a website where we feel we have brought a lot of transparency into liquidation.
Right.
You can come to our website and we are going to be able to provide you as much information as we know about that product. So you can come there, you can find an inventory list. We will supply pictures if it's available, and we will give you so much details about this product. And yes, if you like it, you can just order it right there on the website. You can't pay through it yet because we do want to verify that the buyers understand what they're purchasing. There are a lot of nuances in liquidation when you're working with customer return product, especially if you've never bought it before. So we do want to make sure that our team members are getting in touch with the buyers to explain to them what it is they're purchasing, making sure that they understand it and that it's suitable for their channels. But yeah, once we understand that, we're confident that that buyer is going to make some money with the goods. We'll send them an invoice, they pay for it, and it ships out.
So is the buyer a general consumer, or is this small businesses, or is it B2B?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, it's going to be B2B. Everybody that we sell to is going to be a reseller of the goods. We don't sell anything to consumers.
So you're supplying discount stores?
Yeah, discount stores, flea marketers, online sellers. A lot of what we do is going international to overseas department stores, we're getting it out of the country. But any type of person, entrepreneurs that like to that want to resell merchandise, any type of reseller of merchandise.
So they apply to become a buyer on your platform?
Yeah, they'll have to register with us. They do have to be a reseller or be buying in bulk. And they register. One of our team members is going to qualify them, get an understanding of what they want to purchase, and so to get an understanding of what products to also offer them.
Okay, last question. How many buyers do you have on your system?
Oh, that is a good question. How many buyers do we have right now?
Thousands.
Yeah, I mean, hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds of
talking
thousands.
about. I think our database of opt-in wholesale liquidation buyers is going to be 500,000 or 600,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the numbers in probably about a month.
That's fine.
Yeah, but
we're trying to get a general order of magnitude.
yeah.
So it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. More than 500,000.
Sorry to break it to you. It wasn't the last question. We just started. So, but you said the word transparency. I've been a liquidator for several years now, and I think that's probably one of the most important things in the liquidation business is transparency.
Yeah.
How does Via Trading I guess, differ, and how do they bring that transparency to the market?
Okay, well, we're going to give you as much insight onto that product as we know. We're going to provide pictures. If we have it available, we're going to provide a very detailed inventory list. We are going to talk with the buyers. We're going to explain to them what it is that they're purchasing. If it's customer return products, we'll let them know the nuances of purchasing customer returns. They're going to get the good, the bad, the ugly. Okay, we're going to go through all of that with them. We're very relationship oriented. And we feel that that's very important to be able to develop those relationships to make sure that these buyers can have trust from the source that they're buying from.
Okay. And on the flip side, how does that transparency translate to the supplier side, right? Because right now you're talking about the customer side receiving the goods.
Yeah.
But now what about the suppliers, I guess, the people that you're liquidating from?
Well, a lot of the times they're going to need to know where their products are ending up. You could be working with a brand that doesn't want their products in the USA, and we'll be very transparent with them where we're selling the products to, where they're ending up. You might be doing a liquidation where the goods can't be resold on Amazon. So you have to be transparent with your suppliers, let them know where their products are going to be resold, and sometimes even allow them to make the decision on who it can be resold to.
Gotcha. And then can you give us a sense of what kinds of things are being liquidated? What kind of products and things are
Gosh,
just everything under
if
the
you get
sun?
any type of consumer product that sells, there's eventually going to be an issue.
So this is everything from like hardware to dishware to
Shoes, sunglasses,
the whole.
heck, we've done
retail.
adult diapers before.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long has Via Trading been in business?
Oh, 22, 23 years now?
So you've seen probably every single category under the sun.
Absolutely everything, I think. Yeah.
Do you guys do any, so is it mostly consumer goods, or do you guys do any like heavy machinery or food products or anything like that?
We have, simply because some of our suppliers end up having that, and we do have these types of buyers in our network. It is not our core strengths, and it's not really what we focus on. Our core strengths are going to be general merchandise, consumer products, non-consumables. We don't do too much with building products and machinery either.
Okay. And could you talk a little bit about recovery values and, what do you bring to the table? Why would a supplier use Via Trading to liquidate product versus maybe donating and getting a tax write-off?
Okay, well, I think because of how long we've been around for, at this stage with our hundreds of thousands of buyers, we do have a large network of buyers to offer these goods out to. Hopefully that can drive up recoveries for them because we have such a large buyer base. We are, again, controlling the channel conflict is going to be a big deal. We take that very seriously. If somebody tells us that their goods cannot end up in certain markets, we're going to take that very, very seriously. If they don't want their goods ending up in landfills, we're going to make sure that that's going to somebody that is going to reuse that product and resell it and get some more life out of that product.
Do you do any repairs, or is it pretty much as is that you're reselling?
It's pretty much as is.
Gotcha. So, how much volume? I mean, are you doing these liquidations every hour, every minute, every week? I'm kind of interested.
Yeah, every waking hour. Yeah.
Every week?
This is going on. Yeah.
So there's just tons of these going on at the same time.
Oh, I mean, gosh, there's been 40 truckloads at our facility before waiting to get offloaded.
So you have warehouses as well.
Yeah, we have a 250,000 square foot warehouse in Los Angeles County, the city of Linwood. It's about 25 minutes northeast of LAX.
Okay. And that's your prime?
Yeah, that's our primary. We will have partner warehouses throughout the country, but most of the stuff we're doing is going to be out of our Los Angeles warehouse.
Gotcha. And then do you do repackaging or anything of that nature?
No.
Okay.
No.
So it's
Everything is as is.
as is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Exactly how we receive it is how we're going to sell it.
And then on the logistics side, how does that get managed? Do the buyers have to come in to your warehouse and pick it up?
Well, they can.
Okay.
I would say that that's probably the smallest part of our business, with the buyers coming into our facility, and picking it up. And when they do come, they can pick it up themselves. They can coordinate their own freight, or they can have us do it. The larger part of our business is going to be selling directly from our suppliers' facilities.
Right. So we spoke a little bit about that before the podcast started. I think that's a very interesting point, especially being on the All Things Circular podcast. We're trying to, minimize environmental impact, right? So, being on the West Coast, what if you have a product in Florida or New York, right? That freight is going to be a massive, even not even a cost, but also just an impact on the
Yeah,
environment.
freight,
How
the
do you guys
fuel,
manage that?
the resources that you have to put in. You're packing it up, you're shipping it, you're unloading it, you're repacking it, you're shipping it again. There are so many wasted resources in doing something like that. Um, we have experience with any type of general merchandise consumer product at this stage. If we don't, maybe they can send us a sample to review. But ideally, those goods can remain at the supplier's facility, and we can offer that out to our network of buyers, and we can sell it directly from there. And it just goes right to the next user of that product. So it goes from the supplier's warehouse to the reseller, right to the consumer.
Right. So
Yeah,
you're just
one
eliminating
freight.
that,
Yeah,
one freight bill just to go straight from the supplier to the consumer. So you're not triple shipping it for no reason.
that's how it can work in a perfect world. Yeah.
Does it work? Does it work all the time? How often does it not?
That's a good question, because there are some times where the vendor or supplier, their warehouse might be overloaded and they need to get that out of their facility. Um, if I'm going to throw a number at it, I'd say 60 to 75% of the time it's going to work, and we can keep the goods there.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So you've been in the industry a long time, and what have you seen change from a technology perspective? Like, are there new technologies coming in that are helping to automate this process? And
Yeah.
what's
Yeah. And everybody's getting smarter. And these technologies are making everybody smarter too, and helping things go faster. You are seeing different scanning technologies, different and scan right to a manifest, and then right from the manifest upload it to the site for the buyers to just go ahead and buy right away. So, for example, what I just explained is something that we can do. We can have a load come into our facility today. As we're scanning it, we're building the manifest simultaneously, and then as soon as that's done, we can cut it off, and the manifest is ready. It can get offered immediately to a buyer and just sold. And I mean, this can happen in a matter of an hour.
So every item gets scanned, just for clarification.
Sometimes, not every single time. Yeah, I was just in that one, just how technology has changed it. Because when I first started it, none of the scanning stuff was going on.
So they're doing this by hand and by visual inspection, and then writing up the contents or the condition of the.
Well, we already know the condition prior to it
Okay.
coming here. It might be a whole load of customer return product. And then hopefully everything's going to be in the box. Sometimes it's not in the box and you have an unknown, but hopefully everything's going to be in the box or have some sort of scannable. Maybe you can scan the tracking number. Hopefully you can scan the barcode and it tells you exactly what that item is.
So do you provide instructions to the retailers to help them get a better price for the items by better inventory or better, I guess palletizing?
Oh, sure. Yeah. We'll handhold some of the retailers or some of the suppliers into best practices on
Gotcha.
things that they can do to maximize that recovery.
And so they become responsible for setting that up.
Yep.
Got it.
It's interesting. I mean, liquidations have been around for centuries, I would say, right? And I think it's in the recent years, we're actually seeing a change in the technology and how it's actually done via, robotics and scanning technology. Now there's AI that's getting put in place to grade and sort.
Sure.
Could you walk me through a little bit some of the conditions that come in? Because I think that's one of the biggest struggles with liquidations is just dealing with the different types of product categories, but also conditions, right? One thing might be missing a part. The next thing might be a return that's perfectly fine, but it also has an open box, right?
Sure.
Clothing, I know, is a big thing where, if a piece of clothing got returned when it was in a store, let's say you buy 3 shirts, right? And you put 2 on, you put them all on, and then you have the 2 that you like and the one that you don't. You go back to the store, it stays in the store. The clerk could inspect it and pretty much put it back on the shelf.
Sure.
When it's an online return, now it just goes back to a return center, and that product is pretty much scratched off. It's no longer new, and it's no longer has the ability to be put back on the shelf because it might be in a different bag. It's not right. You see where I'm
Yeah. You've hit a lot of the product categories or product conditions just in that spiel right there. And we can kind of start from like what I call the bottom or the least favorable condition, and we'll talk really broadly because there's a ton of different conditions. So,
let's get in
even with
deep.
like
Let's
customer
get in
returns, you
deep.
have
That's
open
what
box.
people are listening.
Yeah, but you got it from as is or an unknown condition where you just have absolutely no idea what condition that is. It could be anything. To customer return product where you're going to get the good, the bad, the ugly in the customer returns. Where expectations, you have some units that are in good selling condition, some that require fixing or repair, others that are just going to be parted out or trash. After customer returns, shelf pull items, and shelf pull items were displayed in a retail environment for whatever reason they didn't sell. It could be seasonal changes, or it could have just been the item just nobody wanted it, right? But shelf pull items typically are going to have tags on there. They could have signs of usage just from if it's clothing, maybe it has signs of being tried on in the dressing room. Sometimes shelf pull items, if it's a blender, the retailer may have taken the plug out or taken the motor out. Yeah, so you might have to do some fixing or repair with shelf pull items. But generally speaking, the large majority of the shelf pull items should be in good selling condition. You might have some box damage or just some signs of usage because it was tried on. After shelf pulls, you're dealing with new overstock, and there's conditions in the middle of shelf pulls and new, like the open box that you had said, right? Where the open box, it's just an open box. The item itself is brand new condition, works perfectly fine. But new overstock items, expectations, everything is brand new, working condition. And then new overstock, you have master carton or master case goods where it's direct from the manufacturer in its original factory packaging.
Okay, gotcha.
It's interesting, and then I would assume every retailer and every manufacturer has different conditions that they kind of put forward.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's a big variety of conditions and different products that you're dealing with from the retailers. And a lot of the retailers have different conditions.
Right.
Like the largest retailer in the world, they're going to have, God, like dozens of different conditions. Maybe not dozens, but they'll have customer returns. They'll have shelf pull. And
Right.
yeah, it might be the shoe program of customer returns.
Right.
It might be the shoe program of the new overstock.
So where are you seeing growth opportunities in this space? I mean, there's quite a number of players. You're obviously a big one, but kind of where do you see exciting opportunities?
That's a really, really good question. Where you see all the exciting opportunities. In my opinion, you are seeing a lot of exciting opportunities in some of the emerging markets.
Okay.
Yeah, where they're learning that they can purchase this inventory, and they can now have brand name products, good American products. You're seeing a lot of opportunities. Also. Just with entrepreneurs that are that are wanting to start a business and get into this space.
Definitely. I can definitely piggyback off the entrepreneurship portion.
Yeah.
I think because of the variety of goods, because of the variety of liquidations out there, you got the scratch and dent appliances. So maybe you can open up an appliance store or maybe an appliance repair shop, right? And then
Yeah.
you got the clothing liquidation. So now you can run a thrift store or an apparel shop, right? Or maybe you're just really into tech and now you're into flipping and selling electronics or fixing them or parting them out and selling the parts on your eBay store. So that's what got me into this industry. I've just the opportunity from that entrepreneurial standpoint is ample. But I mean, I think technology, right? You would agree with me, Peter, that technology right now is on the rise. I do know that Via Trading launched a new venture called LiquidateNow. Could you speak on that? What does that do for the secondary market?
Well, sure. Yeah. Liquidate Now, it's been around for quite some time now. And Liquidate Now is a liquidation service that we offer out to any supplier that has excess inventory.
So it's like liquidation as a service?
It's liquidation as a service.
I see.
Yeah. And LAAS.
Okay.
Liquidation as a service. And anybody that has excess inventory that they've been trying to sell through their own channels and they no longer can or want to sell through their channels. It's designed for the one-off opportunistic liquidation.
Mm.
The large retailers, they're taken care of. They have everybody that's fighting to get a piece of their liquidation. And sometimes throughout this, everyone kind of forgot about that small guy who it might have been an entrepreneur
Right.
who made 100,000 of those sports jackets, and they only managed to sell half of it. So they're stuck with 50,000 sports jackets. Historically, they didn't really have a place to go to, besides maybe different auction platforms, where they didn't have a lot of power in the recovery and what they were going to get.
You're reminding me of the problem of the guys that make T-shirts for the Super Bowl.
Oh,
They print both teams,
Yeah, sure.
and then they've got to liquidate.
So that's come through Liquidate Now
They have.
before, yeah, and
Really?
yeah, stuff like that has been contracted by Liquidate Now, where they do a run.
What is the recovery on something like that? I've always been curious.
Can you sell it in the U.S.?
Generally speaking, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to get over
License.
somewhere. Yeah, because that's going to be a license thing. Yeah, you have to go overseas with something like that. Something like that's not going to be a high
I
recovery.
know.
Yeah,
But it's just the point that people do produce things that aren't needed or wanted in the
and
market.
you can still make sure that those things are not ending up in the landfill. It doesn't have a use over here, but somewhere in the world, it's worth something to somebody.
Yeah. So is it tough to do? I mean, international business is challenging.
Sure.
And you mentioned that they're doing direct to so does the overseas buyer actually come in and take that inventory, or do you have to help them get it over to that market?
More often than not, we're going to have to help them get it over there, and we're shipping containers from our place.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll ship
We've got a big port there.
We've got the yeah, we're really, really close. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. We're at the RLA. How long have you guys been coming here? What kind of opportunities have you come across from being at the RLA show?
We've connected with so many key suppliers here, and we've made great friendships throughout the years. We've been coming here now, I think, attending it for at least a decade.
Oh, wow.
This is, I think, our third time exhibiting.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's our third time exhibit. We finally decided to pull it. We decided that we needed to exhibit here. Look, RLA has done a great job at bringing in the industry leaders in one central place, and where we can exchange ideas. I love the education aspect that you get throughout all the different seminars that they provide here too. And the real key factor though is just the industry leaders that you're meeting, and you're getting to pick their brains,
Right.
From people who have been doing this for so long, and that they really care about it too.
Awesome. Last question.
Yeah.
Because Vic would be really upset if I didn't ask this. What is one myth about liquidations or the returns world that you would like to bust on this podcast?
Okay, the first thing that comes to mind when you ask that is the word salvage.
Okay.
Because for me, everything in liquidation, I think it's salvage, right? Because it's not useful for somebody. So, for example, some of the retailers that we work with will write salvage on their pallets. My thought is so it doesn't end up back in their primary channels. So now everybody, if they look on it, it says salvage right across the pallet, and now it meant to go to the liquidator. Now, when we get it, if we actually keep the word salvage on the pallet and we sell it to our buyer sees the word salvage and they think they got trash. Where it's not, it could be perfectly brand new overstocked items in there.
Terminology, a salvage would mean garbage, right?
Right. Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest myth, and that's created some of the biggest obstacles that I had as a sales guy back in the day.
So why do the retailers, write that word salvage?
You know what? I've actually never asked them. I've always assumed that it was just to make sure that it doesn't end up back into their primary sales channel. Because when it's sitting in their warehouse and they're shipping stuff here, shipping stuff there,
right.
yeah, it could get mixed up really easily. But now it's got salvage right on there.
Nice.
You see it, not to put that in the truck that's going back to the stores.
Oh, great. That's a
That's a
pretty good
important
myth. Yeah, to bust. Terminology is important. I think that's been a key theme on this podcast and just overall with the education process. Just standardizing the terminology and making sure that everybody's aware that some words have multiple meanings.
So for folks out there, how can they connect with you and your company?
You can connect with me through viatrading.com, liquidatenow.com. Shoot me an email, Justin, Justin, at viatrading.com.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Well,
Thank you for your time.
Guys, thanks for having me.
fantastic having you. Thank you so much.
All right, appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Thanks for tuning in. Please head over to allthingscircular.com to learn more.